Raffensperger Brad, he can't even keep a straight face. He wasn't being threatened. Donald Trump arrested for that phone call. I bring this up because we have to remember who Fani Willis is, the prosecutor, what she has done, and now we're all learning about what a liar she is, how corrupt she is, and it's only a matter of time, really, before this whole case disintegrates. At the very least, she can't prosecute this thing anymore. Do you remember the big proud night she had, though? August of 2023.
Today, based on information developed by that investigation, a Fulton County grand jury returned a true bill of indictment. I am giving the defendants the opportunity to voluntarily surrender no later than noon on Friday. I make decisions in this office based on the facts and the law. The law is completely nonpartisan. That's how decisions are made in every case.
Well, we've developed some information, and it blows out of the water the idea that you have any integrity whatsoever. And maybe you brought this case just to spend time to the guy who was standing next to you, your boyfriend, Nate Wade. Yeah, the boyfriend. Maybe this case had more to do with paying him money, $600,000 over a 2-year time frame, and you getting some of that money in return. Vacations, your silly excuse about cash. You went to the White House multiple times. So did your boyfriend. This is, and here's the new information, all right? This is why the context is needed. How much were these people in communication before they started dating? They told us they started dating in 2022. Well, in 2021, it's been determined that they made 2,000 phone calls to each other and nearly 12,000 text messages. Text, not sext, text. And that's fine. Well, maybe they were, it doesn't matter. In 2021, 2021. Now, this is what they said in court. I watched it on live television. Look, when you bring a case like this that is so wrong, we get to scrutinize everything. Take a look.
Prior to November of 2021, in November of 2021, I hired him. I do not consider our relationship to have become romantic until early of 2022.
When did your romantic relationship with Ms. Willis begin?
2022.
When in 2022?
Early 2022.
All right. Well, all that texting and phone calling was happening in 2021. I also noticed that Fani said something that I think a lot of the millennials will be able to figure out when this relationship really started.
From at least 2020, me and Mr. Wade were friends. At least that time period.
Okay, I'm not talking about...
So no, I want to be clear because my credibility is being evaluated here, right? We were friends. We hung out prior to November of 2021.
They were friends. They hung out. Hung out. That's code, quite frankly, for hooking up, all right? And they were visiting each other's homes, especially Nate Wade going to her house 35 times, it looks like from the phone records, staying overnight. They were so emphatic on this point that whatever was going on, they never had sleepovers.
Did Mr. Wade ever visit you at the condo that you leased from Miss Yurdi?
He visited that condo, yes.
He did?
Yes.
Did he ever spend the night at that condo?
No.
Just visited?
Yeah, but he did visit for sure.
Well, look, if you're lying about all the other stuff, you might as well lie about this, including Nate. Here he goes.
Would you say that was frequent? When I say frequent, do you think prior to November 1st of 2021, you were at the condo more than 10 times?
No, sir.
So it'd be less than 10 times?
Yes, sir.
So if phone records were to reflect that you were making phone calls from the same location as the condo before November 1st of 2021, and it was on multiple occasions, the phone records would be wrong?
If phone records reflected that, yes, sir.
They'd be wrong.
They'd be wrong.
The lawyer already had the phone records, it seems to me. He's wrong. He's being deceptive. I almost feel sorry for these people until I remember that they indicted the President of the United States for making a phone call, for engaging in politics. You're still allowed, for the time being at least, to engage in politics in America. But Donald Trump, you know what? All of these horrible things that happened, they're turning into majestic opportunities, aren't they? The mugshot, by the way, he's got good company. Martin Luther King was locked up by the same office, the Fulton County prosecutor, back in the early 1960s. Is that great company or what? And what seemed like such a low moment for Donald Trump, you know, getting booked, getting arrested, he posted that picture on Twitter, the first tweet since January 6th. Election interference, never surrender. DonaldTrump.com. One of the biggest tweets in the history of the internet. Pretty wild. Things have a way of working out. We're not there yet, but we're getting closer. Next, please. Tomorrow is primary day in South Carolina. Usually you have these on Tuesdays, but they're in South Carolina. It's on a Saturday. Polls close at 7 o'clock. Donald Trump, heavily favored to win by 20 points, 25 points, a lot. And Nikki is getting desperate. Look at this, over the top, totally out of context. I mean, this is what Democrats do. It's a very ugly ad, and she deserves no one's support.
From this day forward, a new vision will govern our land.
The president's praise for the dictator of North Korea was disquieting.
He speaks and his people sit up at attention. I want my people to do the same.
The president had planned a secret meeting with Taliban leaders at Camp David just a few days before 9/11.
President Trump sided with Putin over his own director of national intelligence.
Criticized American allies.
Take the guns first, go through due process second.
American farmers hurt by tariffs.
He's lost on trade.
We're reducing debt.
Adding $8 trillion under Trump's watch.
It's so easy to be presidential.
Calling her a dog.
Horseface.
Very fine people on both sides.
So the average little soundbite for each person was a second and a half. And she wraps up with the Charlottesville lie. President Trump did not say that neo-Nazis and white supremacists are very fine people. He said the opposite. And for her to engage in that, she has no respect for us, right? We've all grown up. We're not in fourth grade. Nikki Haley, she seems to think we're in fourth grade. She talks like a fourth grade teacher. And now she talks like a desperate fourth grade teacher. Check this out.
And since then, since I got out of the administration, I have called him out multiple times, which is why he's upset, because he thinks I'm disloyal. I'm not loyal to anyone. I don't do that.
Yeah, we're getting a really good picture of that. Nikki Haley is out for Nikki Haley. She's not loyal to anyone or anything. And I mean anything, all right? And when you're running for president, it's okay to ask questions, all right? Even about you, Nikki Haley. Yeah, it is.
She comes over to see me at Mar-a-Lago. Sir, I will never run against you. She brought her husband. Where's her husband? Oh, he's away. He's away. What happened to her husband? What happened to her husband? Where is he? He's gone. He knew. He knew.
Now, is that the most outlandish, inappropriate thing to ask? No, it's politics. And it is a little unusual that Michael Haley is not campaigning with his wife. It's just a little bit odd. Okay, we understand. He's in the National Guard. Still, it's a little non-standard, folks, right? When you run for president, you usually have your better half with you.
As we look at Washington, and as rancorous and partisan as Washington looks, I think we'd like a leader who can work with people, who respects other people's ideas and respects other people's opinions. And that's what I think George would do. That's the kind of leader he would be.
The only person in this race who I believe has a chance of uniting this country around a set of common values is my husband, Barack Obama.
In my adult lifetime, there has never been anyone better prepared for the job that awaits the next president than Hillary. Never.
He will make America prosperous. He will make America proud. And yes, this man I know so well, Donald Trump, with your help and God's grace, will make America great again.
Beautiful. All of them. Republicans, Democrats alike, supporting your spouse. It's okay to ask these questions. And we understand he's in Africa. He's in Africa. Nikki's exploiting this issue. right? I think it was all a bit of a setup. Anyway, was this sincere?
As I prepare for what lies ahead, Michael is at the forefront of my mind. I wish Michael was here today, and I wish our children and I could see him tonight, but we can't.
I am not moved. I'm sorry. This was voluntary on their part, all of it. Good guy, I'm sure, although he is breaking the rules. I'll get to that in a moment. What else did she say?
He's serving on the other side of the world, where conflict is the norm, where terrorists hide among the innocent, where Iran's terrorist proxies are now attacking American troops.
All right, I've been to where he is. It's a place called Djibouti, Africa. I've been there as a Marine. I've been there as a journalist. You know, you can walk down the street and nothing bad's going to happen to you. But I do think this is inappropriate. Michael Haley, Major Michael Haley, on active duty right now in Djibouti, is tweeting political content like crazy. That's his Twitter account, we believe. He is tweeting pro-Nikki Haley stuff and anti-Trump stuff. Donald Trump's out of cash, plans on using RNC in America as his personal piggy bank. Now, this is really, I mean, you can engage if you're not in uniform. He's on active duty, right? Defending democracy. What the heck is he beating up on Donald Trump for? How does he have the time? And he's doing it like crazy. Next, please. Judge fines Donald Trump more than $350 million, bars him from running business in New York 3 years. Like, he's celebrating this. He's celebrating what he thinks is the demise of Donald Trump. And then he retweets stuff like crazy. Nikki tweets something nasty about Donald Trump. He retweets it. This is wrong, and I'm going to show you right now that it's actually against the regulations. Putin did this. He's always tweeting all of this partisan stuff. Shouldn't he be, I don't know, hard at work guarding Africa or whatever he's doing over there at Camp Lemonnier, Djibouti? All right, folks, I'm not being too hard on him. I was in uniform, too. There were regulations about engaging in politics, and you can't do it. Let's go to the DOD regulations, specifically about what he's doing. Per long-standing DOD policy, active duty personnel may not engage in partisan political activities. Period. Well, no period there, but they may not post links to share or retweet comments or tweets from the Facebook page or Twitter account of a political party or candidate running for partisan office. Such activity is deemed to constitute partisan political activities. You can't do this stuff, Major Mike. I think we got one more. Examples include showing contempt for public officials. Contempt for public officials. Donald Trump is a public guy. He's soon to be the nominee. And he's saying, ooh, he's using the RNC as a piggy bank, right? Can I see this guy again? Michael, look, you are on active duty, and that's nice. Pay attention to your job. You got to get out of politics. You want to come back here and campaign with Nikki? That's fine. And Nikki does need the help. She's on the verge of losing South Carolina, big time. And just as a reminder, South Carolina, this is what she thinks of y'all.
We were the only Indian family in our small southern town. I was teased every day for being brown. So anyone that wants to question it can go back and look at what I've said on how hard it was to grow up in the Deep South as a brown girl.
A brown girl. So I read her book, and she tells a different story in the book. A very different story. She's phony, she lacks integrity, and I think she's going to lose big tomorrow, just as she deserves. We'll be right back.